At the Administration for Children and Families, or ACF, within the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, we're supporting the mental health and well-being of children, youth, and families across the country. We know that talking about mental health and accessing support can be challenging. We spoke to young people to learn about their experiences, what they found works, and their tips for other young people on finding support. Let's talk about mental health, getting help and support. Getting help from a trusted adult.
When I was younger, I realized how fragile my mental health was. So first, I did have a conversation with my father. I was living with him at the time of my diagnosis. So I was like, "Hey, Daddy, I'm struggling in school, and I might need extra support. So can you help me? The illness I was incurring." He did so much research just for me. It's made me feel like more than I can ask for, because having that conversation with my dad normalized my diagnosis and made me feel more than a diagnosis. It made me feel like a individual, a true human being, and a child under the support of a supportive family.
Getting help from a friend.
So, towards the beginning of my junior year of high school, I had experienced something really traumatic, and I was definitely in need of support, but I didn't really know that myself. Like, I didn't notice in myself that I was having a hard time, if that makes sense. But my friends, they definitely noticed. They saw me not really getting better. They stopped seeing me smiling and laughing as much. Like, my personality had really changed. They stopped seeing me eat at lunch, and I was less interested in school when, like, normally I was pretty interested in school. And so they were worried about me. And so they actually tapped in my best friend's mom, who they knew I was really close with. She was like that mom who everybody kind of turned to for help, because we all knew that she wouldn't be judgmental. We all knew that she wouldn't scold us. She would help us first with whatever the problem was. And she was really great. One day I was over just kind of hanging out. We were all just hanging out at my best friend's house, and her mom, she asked me if I wanted a snack out of the kitchen. And so I went with her, and she again asked me for consent, because that consent piece is so important. She was like, "Do you mind if I take a moment to talk to you? Like, is that okay?" And I didn't really know what she was trying to talk to me about, but I trusted her, and she told me that my friends had been noticing things, and that my friends were worried about me, and that she was worried about me too. And she let me know that if I wanted to talk to her about what happened, that I could. And I did. I sat with her and we talked, and I told her all of these feelings that I had been bottling up and trying to process. She said that I could call her anytime, and she really meant it. I called her, and if she was unavailable, she'd tell me, and she'd say, "Let's schedule another time to talk." Like, she really was on top of making sure that she made sure I felt like a priority. I still felt that caring because, they took the time to do something. They took action for me because they wanted me to feel better.
Getting help from a professional.
So when I think of some positive influences in my life, I think of the counselors that I was introduced to when at a young age, due to my guardian seeking some help for some difficult situations I had been going through. Just due to the trauma of being in and out of care. I remember these therapists just offering me different ways to approach therapy in a way that I had never experienced before. They were able to provide a safe space. They were able to teach me several different coping skills for emotions that I hadn't quite figured out yet. The counselors and therapists that I was introduced to were just able to give me the tools that everybody kept talking to me like I was supposed to have them. I think everybody should realize that within therapy, you have the ability to make it work for you. Incorporate the things that make you happy. If you go to a therapist and you enjoy music, maybe suggest to the therapist that you have light music in the background.
Treatment has been a catalyst to my recovery, and I hope people undergoing treatment knows that there's always another person out there to help,
If there's something about your session that just isn't quite comfortable for you, pinpoint it, figure it out, and change it. You have that ability. Even as a youth, speak to your therapist. Be willing to explore yourself. Be willing to explore the things that can be uncomfortable. Be willing to explore the things that are exciting. Be willing to explore the things that are sometimes, sad and depressing. Keep an open mind. But also know that you're in control. That therapy is there for you. It's meant to help you.
Finding support from within.
Treatment doesn't always have to be external. It could also be self-care.
Self-care looks a lot like journaling and looks a lot like learning things about yourself and about like your disorders if you're diagnosed with things, like educating yourself, right? I think that self-care looks like meal prepping.
Doing a hobby, listening to music when you need a breath. That can be therapy. Little things that you do to help you deal with difficult situations can be therapy.
So definitely take the time to think about like what you need in the long run and what are the best ways to set yourself up for success every day to get to those like bigger overarching mental wellness goals.
If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, help is available. Call or text 988 or chat at 988lifeline.org. To learn how to get support, visit findsupport.gov. To find out more about ACF's mission, impact, programs, and behavioral health work, visit acf.hhs.gov/behavioral-health. This video was developed in partnership with youth.gov.